My next guest is Bernice, who's calling in from Iowa. Welcome, Bernice.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure. What will we be speaking about today?
I have maybe two main questions. One is about a dog, my dog who had died about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the second question, if we have time, I'm not sure the timing, it's more personal in terms of my personal development.
Great. And the dog who died a year ago, have I ever spoken to that dog before?
Yes, you died. You talked to him before he died, about 2 months before he died, and you're the one who kind of broke the news that he wanted to leave, and his time was coming. So yes, you have spoken to him.
And what was his name?
His name was Mocha, M-O-K-A.
Okay. Yes.
Cockapoo, cinnamon color.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
And I guess my question is will he want to come back? And if so, how will he look like? Or how will I find him? And I'm kind of, now that I've grieved enough, I'm okay either way. It's okay.
Yes.
If he comes, fine. But if he doesn't, it's fine. But if he comes, I'd like to know maybe some insight of how to find him.
Great.
And I'm getting ready to get a dog possibly soon, but not right this second, but because I'm still enjoying the freedom
Yes.
of, walking away and just
Yes.
having to pass. It's easier to leave and come back. So
Yes, thank you. Before I directly address Bernice's question, I do want to speak about reincarnation, and I do want to speak about passing over. When animals are getting passed over, when they're getting ready to pass over, just like humans, they each have their own desires and needs that come forth. And animals are quite aware when it's time for them to pass over. And sometimes they'll request help, and sometimes they'll request to go naturally. And sometimes things cannot be predicted. There'll be an illness, and an animal will say, I would like help if it's possible for me to get better. I would like to stay. I don't know if I'm going to stay, because there is that reality in our universe as humans and animals too, that sometimes we don't know the outcome. There are situations where there's a very evident, imminent time to pass over. There's a destiny, and it's very clearly being communicated to an animal, or sometimes a person, that that's coming. But there's other times where there's just factors that are arbitrary, and so we don't know the timing, we don't know the outcome. In terms of coming back, and I know for some people that's far-fetched, and for me it really was far-fetched until my own cat reincarnated, and then I started getting calls from all over the world about reincarnations. But when a soul decides that it would like to come back into another animal body, it's not just personal will. So an animal will clearly understand that they are being given the mysterious grace telling them if they would like to come back, they can come back. Or sometimes they're being told that's not in the highest interest of the people they love or themselves. That's not what's to happen right now. And sometimes a choice is given. And it's very hard for me to explain where that comes from, because I don't really know. There's a great clarity in the animal connected to the universal source that informs us which of those three happenings is occurring. And so what I'm doing is I'm asking Mocha right now in this moment, and the way I talk to animals on the other side or humans on the other side is the same way I talk to them here, because when you go, you just lose your biological apparatus. You use that density of kind of sensational feeling. But you don't lose the essential flavor of who you are, or the momentum or direction in which it's ascending or dissipating or opening. And so I'm asking Mocha, are you planning to come back? Would you like to come back? Is it your destiny to come back? What's happening with that? And so I'm just taking a moment to close my eyes so I can better tune into someone who is without a body. And you'll just feel a pause as I find Mocha. And Mocha does have some eagerness to return, but it doesn't feel possible right now. It doesn't feel that could happen right now. That time, there's still time needed for some drifting through consciousness for you and Mocha, with Mocha in the non-embodied world. And I've really learned to trust that there's a beautiful higher purpose and many gifts when a direction is given. However, it is also possible that Mocha can return, and it doesn't have to be a really long time from now. It's just that there's some first things that have to happen first. There's some things that have to still happen in your consciousness and Mocha's for time to create a reality when that would be what could occur. And so I'm going to ask if we are able to understand what needs to happen first. Just a minute. It's a deeper immersion into the peace of where you are now, with the circumstances of where you are now. Beyond the concept of the words I'm giving to you, it's a deeper immersion of your heart into complete satisfaction of what is right now. And what is right now is Mocha's on the other side, and you have a variety of circumstances, as do all of us. So can you just feel the place in yourself that is with Mocha, even though Mocha's not embodied, and that is completely fine and well? Mocha's very much in your heart, literally, energetically. Can you feel that wellness, how well all is? And if sorrow comes up, that's completely welcome too. But just feel into that, and let me know what you're experiencing.
There's still sadness.
Yeah, there's still grief to continue. That's a beautiful natural cleanser. It's a wonderful, needed experience. So let yourself, in this moment, keep feeling the grief, and the tears are completely welcome here. There's a real bonding. Mocha's just literally kind of putting Mocha's self in your heart and merging with you and bringing in this tremendous, very luminous light. And just keep feeling inside your heart as your tears flow, as your feelings wave through you. What are you experiencing in this moment now?
I guess I'm always thinking that I'm done with the grief, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm just experiencing still the sadness of it.
Yeah, grief can have. We were talking earlier about how the repercussions of grief can go for a long time. Even when something's complete and finished, you can be surprised when another healthy wave emerges.
Yeah.
And I know how eager you are for the reunion. But the opportunity that's trying to appear to you in reality is the reunion that's happening right now. It's actually tangible. There's a deep union of this being from the other side really merged into your heart right now. It sounds abstract, but it's actually, if we take away the censors of how we're taught to perceive, that's what's happening. Mm-hmm. So you keep feeling into your heart, and then you'll find how close you are right now with Mocha.
Yeah, that's true. That's why it makes me sad.
Yeah, and that sadness is part of it. That's a big part of it, because when we're separated from someone we love physically, animal or human, it's very torturous to our human biological existence. And our tears keep our heart opening and opening into the love. So I want to invite you to just keep allowing the grief and the feeling of mocha, whenever you need to throughout your days. And let whatever needs to happen come from that, because there is a great peace calling you in. So just go as deep, deep, deep into your heart as you can right now and find what you find. What are you experiencing in this moment now?
Yeah, if I can just feel that, yeah, I will be at peace because the union is there.
Well,
never left.
You'll be somewhere. Because I know your thoughts are telling you you'll be at peace, and it's not really feeling like that. It's feeling like a disappointment, which is totally, totally understandable. Because it is so torturous when one we love is no longer in the physical. And so I invite you to maybe not even look for peace, but just look for whatever shows up deep in your heart. Yeah. And I'm wondering what we are going to talk about regarding you, because I'm sensing it's connected to this, even though it seems like a different topic. So
no, you're right, it's connected. Because lately I've been more sick. I had gallbladder problem and gastritis, and in the physical, it's been showing up in my solar plexus as I'm learning to accept the whole human range of emotion that I would call negative. That would be grief, resentment, frustration, anger, all that, integrating it and really not storing it in my body anymore, releasing that and accepting, embracing this whole part. So it is related because it's also affecting my relationship with the whole world, my husband, and also I do healing and animal communication as my path. It would be my thing, and also then blocking me now into extending.
Yeah.
So it's all related. I know I don't know if it makes sense, but
it makes complete sense. It's fully related, and as we embrace these non-preferred qualities, these non-preferred emotions, like you said, grief or anger, resentment, jealousy, etc., etc., they transform. They turn out just to be energetics that are not so much what we thought they were. So can you go into your solar plexus right now and just find out what's right there in this moment?
I think the sadness is still there. A discomfort of living with that. I think because we were talking about grief, living with that grief.
Yes.
So very uncomfortable.
Yes. So just let yourself merge into that uncomfortableness and find out what happens.
I just want to cry some more.
Yeah, good. It's wonderful. There's a lot of crying to be happening.
It just feels like an unending well.
There's an end. I remember one time I had to go into this room where no one could hear me and scream and cry like every day for months. And it just felt like years and decades of things that weren't able to be expressed had to come up. And I was very scared that I was going to die and there was no end. It was terrifying. But actually there was such deep peace at the end. Immense peace. And so we don't know if this is going to be an hour of crying or 4 months of crying, but there is another layer. And so I want to invite you to spend as much time crying as you need to, because babies cry every day and they laugh every day, and if all of us did, things would be a lot more pleasant in our bodies. But we think we can't, and it's socially unacceptable. So I want to invite you to give yourself that much love that you can cry until the tears have had their stream.
Right.
Yeah, and so there are situations where integration just needs time, that element of our earth. The earth is needed. It's not everything isn't in air and fire like some of the situations we were encountering earlier, and neither is better or worse. But the earth moves more slowly, and it needs its time to integrate us into the body. So I'm going to invite you to just keep working with this yourself. And I know it will take you to a very beautiful place, and you'll see how valuable it's all been, worth the ride.
Is the gallbladder store grief?
I know that in certain systems, different organs are responsible for grief, but I also know that grief can be stored anywhere in the body, so it can be a personal thing too, as to where our body holds something. Yeah. So right now, 100% just love what is happening now, the grief, the tears, the sorrow. Just so give yourself to that as though it's nothing but an expression. It's not problematic. We're not waiting for its end. We're just being in the river of it. Find out what happens in this moment as you allow that in yourself.
It makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad. Yeah.
And then I think also to talk it out just kind of makes you feel better.
Yeah. It's so normal. What you're going through is normal. It's covered up everywhere with all kinds of ways we're supposed to look and be and do. That just is kind of not real, and it's so normal. Yeah.
And also not too many people understand how you can grieve an animal.
You know what? I've talked to hundreds of people who have been in deep, deep grief over an animal. It's actually quite common. I've experienced it myself. It's very common. Yes.
But for us, the animal lover, it could be, understood, but not many people necessarily understand. Well, that's not true.
Yeah, it sounds like there's people around you who don't share that, but there are many people who do. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I fully share that with you. Yeah.
So, I guess we go back to my question about in my block in terms of where I need to go next.
I would say where you need to go next is just spend time grieving and loving the grief, and that will inform you each day as to where to go next. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm very grateful to talk to you. Let me know how you're doing in a few weeks, please, if you would.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
you. Many blessings. We really do have emotions for good reason. The body, even scientifically and biologically, has been created to cleanse itself and release itself, which is why I keep bringing up babies. And so when we allow this backlog of what's maybe been worked through emotionally or mentally at one level, but never fully integratedly worked through in the body, cleanses us. It brings us into deeper and deeper peace. But I don't recommend doing something to push yourself into peace. It won't work. I recommend just doing it as an experiment, an inquiry. What happens if I allow the expressions needing to come through myself just to come through? What happens? Thank you, everybody.
Mystery circles, mystery.